Good morning, pre-game family. We will get started in 1 minute. We have bulls in the house, bulls everywhere. We have NASDAQ leading today. We will officially get started in 1 minute. I have my chart specs typed out so you know what my moving averages are and exponential moving averages are. And I use the TTM Squeeze Thinkorswim default in TradingView. I prefer the TTM Squeeze in Thinkorswim itself if you use Thinkorswim for trading. All right, it's 5:30. Thank you for joining us for the pre-game show. We are so happy to be with y'all this morning. I am Chart Gal Lori. I am representing the Chart Guys community. I am a technical analyst within that community, and we teach technical analysis. So we're going to get started today with the futures, commodities, crypto, and then we're going to look at what's moving, what's shaking, and some potential setups for the day. So yesterday we talked about the inside bar psychology and what typically happens with the inside bar technically where volume goes down, and that's exactly what we saw. Then we got a bull break overnight with volume. So I'm going to clear out everything. We're going to zoom out and get our bearings. So on Tuesday, we had this range that was approximately $25 on ES futures. Yesterday, we stayed within that range. We anticipated a bull flag of sorts. Why would we anticipate a bull flag? Because of this extension. When you get this extension away from exponential moving averages and you create this air pocket, that shows you that extreme strength. And then you look for a potential pullback to be shallow. And we didn't even get a pullback to the EMAs. We traded sideways yesterday, which was welcomed by the bulls. We stayed within the range of Tuesday, and now today we are breaking out. So we had an inside bar bull break overnight, and we got a bull break obviously in the bull direction up. So I just want to scroll back a little bit and talk about the TTM squeeze. So I noticed this yesterday. I am positioned long in NASDAQ names. I am positioned long in XLC names such as Google and Amazon are my largest holdings. So we got this TTM squeeze, which means price is going sideways and storing energy. And then we got this explosion. We got the follow through and the expected volatility. If I had the Bollinger Bands turned on, you would see this flattening of the Bollinger Bands and then curling up. So that curling up of the Bollinger Band shows you that incoming volatility. So our key supports on the 30-minute are 408175 and 407875. Also yesterday, I encouraged you to zoom out to the 30-minute to improve your trading. If you were struggling with day trading, go to a higher time frame as the number one thing that you should do besides using a stop loss. So if you zoomed out, you used the 30-minute yesterday and it worked for you, put it in the comments. Let us know. We want to know if we're helping. We want to know if we're not helping. We want to know. So 408575 is our key resistance now on ES, then 409275. We are in all-time high territory on ES. So RSI doesn't matter as much because we don't have the bag holders overhead. We don't have the Louis Vuittons. We don't have the Chanel's overhead. We don't have anyone ready to offload bags to us because there are no bags overhead on ES. However, on NASDAQ, we do have bags overhead. NASDAQ definitely is the strongest. Let me go back to the daily. So yesterday we anticipated that inside bar and that volume drop off. That's what we got. We stayed within $120 range yesterday within that mother bar. And then we got that bull break. 13,900 to 13,900 is that key resistant on NASDAQ. So RSI does matter. So it does matter. We are not overbought yet, which means exceeding 70 on the RSI. on NASDAQ on the daily. On the 4-hour, we are overbought. So we have a trend trade. What's a trend trade? That is when your shorter term time frame EMA holds all candle closes. So the green is the 8 EMA, which means it just measures the 8 periods preceding the current period, and it heavily weights the most recent price action. And we're holding it. We have a trend trade on NASDAQ on the 4-hour. As long as this holds, bulls are fully in control. Now remember, bulls don't have to bring the volume, bears do. So we could just melt up on very low volume today in NASDAQ and keep going. So I wouldn't short based on volume. You can go short based on volume if bears are bringing it, but not if the bulls are melting up on pretty low volume. So on the hourly here, we broke this 13736 by a few dollars. I would consider this a double top. We're talking about $13,700 issue. So this, $6 does not a bull break make. We have support at 13,684. We are holding that 8 EMA on the hourly trend trade. On the 30-minute, we're holding the 8 and 21. So we may end up getting some type of wedge action. If we get another higher high without a lot of follow through, we could look for a potential rising wedge. Right now, price action is very, very constructive. RTY, before I forget, just a reminder, Powell is speaking today. So Jerome Powell, let me go to our whiteboard in our TCG community. We post what's happening in our community whiteboard, and at noon Eastern, Powell is speaking. That may make a caution day, which means pump the brakes around that time and protect your assets to make sure that Powell doesn't say anything untoward to the market and things fall apart. So in shorter term time frame, RTY support 2232. We have a double bottom here, and then your next support is down at 2224. Resistance 2238. We have a double top here. Then your next resistance is up at 225770. We have an hourly downtrend right now in RTY. We called it yesterday. I hope you got part of that short. The 50 MA is making a frown over price. So we have a downtrending moving average or exponential moving average overhead, and we come up into it to test it. It typically gets rejected on the first or second try, and that's what's happening. RTY is pretty weak. Looking at the Dow, I actually expected more out of the Dow with the infrastructure talk yesterday with Biden. I'm a little bit surprised it could have been just priced in. So either way, the Dow is overall bullish. We're pulling back a lot here on the hourly, and now we're getting our moving averages overhead. The bears have a little bit of control more in the short term than the bulls, and the bulls have their work cut out for them. So let's look at that ever important 30-minute. 30-minute, we got a little bit of an EQ resistance, 33346, 33352, support 33307. We're testing that right now. We just broke it. Then 33254. So with our major Fab 4, we have the same. Actually, we have a little bit of a lineup. YM is slightly weaker in the shorter term than RTY. NASDAQ is our leader, and ES is right behind NASDAQ. All right, let's go look at our commodities. Hey, Jason, yes, this is Lori. Welcome. Welcome to the Pre-Game Show. This is our week anniversary. Woohoo! All right, looking at oil. So oil, as you can see, the 200 MA is its nemesis. This is the purple line overhead. Literally, you could pick any line, any moving average, be consistent with the use of it, and it'll provide you some value. We have a 30-minute inside bar. That mother bar high is up at 59.70. That low is up at 59.41. Your next resistance, 59.82. Zooming out on oil, on the weekly, we have an uptrend, and we're still holding that weekly key support at 5725, $57.25. Oil doesn't have any big news coming today that I know of, but nat gas does. So we don't typically look at nat gas, but let's go look at nat gas. We have daily inside bars. Thanks, Jason. I appreciate the apology. So daily inside bars, that mother bar high, 2546, that low at 2458. So we have 3 daily inside bars on nat gas. So we have inventory this morning at 10:30 Eastern. Yes. So why am I outlining this? When we have this type of stored energy, we have a TTM squeeze, we have inside bars, we have stored energy. You could get a break to the upside or downside. If I were going to play this, I would play it to the upside. You have better risk reward. You have your support way down at 2422. So your daily inside bar support is at 2458. That may provide some opportunity today. And gold bulls are loud and proud this morning. 1754.20 is your key resistance. I don't use spot price in the pregame show. I use futures. So futures are more important. They're going to provide you more data. They have more trading hours in the day than spot price. Spot price is just a futures price minus the shipping and deliverable cost. So we have the yellow line, the 50 MA overhead at 1762.60. Shorter term time frames, gold bulls are in charge. 1747 is your key support. And then 1742 resistance, 1752. So if you are long gold, I would stay long gold as long as this 4-hour uptrend continues. Now let's go look at crypto. Crypto 4-hour. The bulls have an inside bar. They broke the low of this bar by $8 on a $56,000 item. That does not a bear break make, so we're going to consider this an inside bar. So we're smushed here between the 200 MA and the 21 EMA. The 21 EMA is our mean reversion, so we're squished there where price goes sideways. The longer it can go sideways, actually it's better for the bulls to get there ish in order so they can resume to the upside if they have a chance. 58,630 would be their next resistance. Let's look at this on the hourly. I know a lot of you trade this. This is a nice looking candle. We're running into the underside of a downtrending EMA. 57,300 is your resistance. Did we break that? Nope. So 57,300 is your key resistance, and that key support 56,346. We have that sideways action here where pressure is storing. We may get a little bit of a move from Bitcoin. Larger term time frames, it feels kind of cray-cray, but we have a weekly inside bar. I personally would love it if we would stay sideways a little bit longer, because the more sideways we go, we can cool off this RSI. So the weekly inside bar resistance range, $60,055. The low, $54,900. All right, looking at Ethereum. Ethereum, we broke that weekly inside bar by $6. That does not make a weekly inside bar bull break. We lost the uptrend. We have a daily inside bar. This was a large range on Ethereum, this mother bar here of approximately $200. That's a pretty large range. We may stay within that range for a couple days. So let me give you a little bit more glued in. So 203,499 is your next resistance, and your support is down at 1983. Now let's look at the movers and shakers of pre-market. We have Apple. Apple has a lot of things going for it. For Apple to get moving in the pre-market, this is a huge boon for the NQ bulls. We have the TTM squeeze that is firing to the long side. If you see these, let me see if I can scroll in here. You can see these blue histogram bars here. This is the momentum histogram firing to the upside long. So with Apple, where have we broken this pre-market? 12872 is the key resistance for regular trading hours. Then we have this next one at 130.71. I get a little dependent on these pivot markers up here, but you have to kind of zoom in and see if you're missing any. So 130.71 is your next resistance on Apple. Apple is a very important name. Microsoft and Apple are huge holdings within NASDAQ and QQQ, which really impact the market. So if Apple can keep this going, hourly RSI is extended. We're pulling back a little bit here. This is where I like to go to the 15-minute and look at yesterday's resistance and see if I can get any resistances to play off. That's pretty far down there at 127.78 is your next support on Apple. 128, and then we have 128.22, 128, then 127.78. 129.20 is your pre-market resistance. Watch Apple. If Apple can keep this push going, I would like to see a pullback in pre-market and then resume the upwards trend in regular trading hours. ChargePoint. ChargePoint doesn't have a huge, we have a 4% move up in pre-market, which is big, but overall, I just want to back up from the EV space, the electric vehicle space. There was some information leaked from the Biden administration about some incentives, but overall, if you've owned a Tesla or electric car or even think about owning one, what's the most important thing? If you drive to see grandma, you have a charging station on the way to grandma's house, or you're gonna get stuck. Grandma probably doesn't have an EV charging station at her house. ChargePoint provides charging stations and the infrastructure for EVs, which is really important. I think Beam, B-E-E-M, is another one. So there's a few charging infrastructure where they built the infrastructure around at least the US. I'm not really clear on Canada and Europe if they provided infrastructure there. But this is a really important element to the EV space. $30 is your key resistance, and after $30, $30.35, your support is down at $29.31 double bottom and $29. So this may be something that you look at. We have daily inside bar that you may look at for a swing. What I would like to see as a ChargePoint bull, excuse the drawing, is some type of daily inverse head and shoulders. Right now we have daily inside bar, that mother bar high 32.47, that low 27.21. Costco. Let me just kind of show you what we provide in the TCG community. So I will show you this. So in the news channel, Costco, we got a price target raise 1, 2, 3. We got 3 upgrades, and then we got a report from Costco. They adjusted their comparable sales upwards to 11%. So that's the type of information that we provide in the TCG community. Costco is having a wonderful morning. So I am waiting for this to catch up with me. So we like it when price moves from the 50 MA, so it pushes into it and then bounces. I call that a trampoline move. You could call it a slingshot move. Either way, it's a nice bullish move. Your next resistance for, let me zoom out on the daily. Your next resistance 36280. 36280 for regular trading hours. Then after that, 36590. I like Costco. They have a dividend of 70 cents. So they increased their dividend by 10%, I believe. I don't remember exactly when. You'd have to look that up. But overall, they have great news. So they have 3 upgrades, and they got it upwards. This could be a nice bull move for the day. But regardless of what I think is going to happen, my crystal ball is in the shop. I do not know what exactly is going to happen. I accept all outcomes, and I just play probabilities. NIO has no news today, but it has been in the top 10 pre-market scans for months now. So a very volatile name. So if you are trading NIO, 4206 is your key resistance, and $34 is your key support. What I envision happening with NIO, if it could just tighten up, this is a really messy EQ, but if it could just tighten up a little more, and you see how it's pushing into a downtrending EMA, the 21 EMA, and it continues to reject. So we need to get over that 4206 to clear that and get that trauma out the way. We have just a few more minutes looking at shop. Chart Gal Denzi, she is live today in the TCG room. She'll be going live in just a few minutes. Community members, you can head on over there in 5 or 6 minutes. But she pointed out this setup, and it's beautiful. We have daily inside bars on shop. We have so many other tech names that have broken bull, and shop hasn't. So we have daily inside bar range up yesterday. Let's make it even 1175 resistance and low 1143.79. And as you can see, we are breaking that in pre-market. This can make for a beautiful trade on shop. This is one of my favorite names to trade. With options, you have to be careful. We have large spreads and liquidity issues. Issues as in it has a large range on the option. So Tesla, a lot of you trade Tesla, so let me give you some levels there. I know of no news that came out in pre-market, but I'm just giving you the levels. 682 is their resistance, and support 667.84. So if the bulls could change the hourly trend on Tesla, this may be a bottom fish opportunity. 667.84 84 is the key support from yesterday. These hourly EMAs have to get out of the way for the bulls to make hay. All right, now let's look at SPY and let's leave you with some key levels. So I'm going to ignore this wick. This is my subjective call. However, it didn't happen on volume. It just happens when the market opens up and the brokers open up. So 408.16 is your resistance, 408.22. Your next support, 407.56 and 406.90. Let me zoom out real quick and give you the Fibonacci's. So I like to use a clear swing high and swing low where we have a really deep pullback. So 407.95 is the 1.618 fib extension, 407.95. So price may pause here. We are above that right now. Well, you can see how we're just kind of acting as a magnet, hovering right over that level. I'm going to leave this level on my chart for trading today, 407.95. So 407.56 is your key support, and then 406.90. All right, that's it for the pre-game show. I'll leave you with one fun fact. How about that? Fibonacci math sequence. So the Fibonacci math sequence, I just want to demystify Fibonacci. Newer traders like to throw it around. I know I did. Oh, this is a cool concept. It is 0 plus 1 is 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 5 is 8. 8 plus 13 is 21. That's the Fibonacci math sequence. So that's why I used the 8 and 21 EMA, because it's part of the math sequence. And maybe we can keep going over some fun facts every morning when you join me and the TCG team for the pre-game show. Use stop losses. TCG members, head on over to the TCG room and listen to Chart Gal Denzi. Thank you for joining me and have a wonderful Thursday.